Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting a leather mini Kelly bag charm. Here is the display of the finished result. First, inspect all materials. If any issues arise, contact Babylon official support. If there are no issues, please start making. Distinguish the front and back of the leather pieces by looking at the holes: larger holes for the front, smaller holes for the back. Place the two materials with their backs facing each other, with the bottom material on top of the main body material. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length of the sewn part, then cut it. Each time, you can measure a bit more thread to ensure that there is more than enough available. Start threading the needle by first passing the thread through the needle's eye. Then, pass the needle tip through the middle of the thread. Tighten it, and that completes the threading of the needle. Thread the other needle using the same method. Place the bottom material on top of the main body material, aligning them at the middle hole. There will be an extra hole on both the left and right sides of the main body material. Start sewing. The first needle should go from the top to the bottom through the first hole of the main body material. For the second needle, first stitch from the top to the bottom through the second hole of the main body material, then from the bottom to the top through the first hole of the bottom material. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Next, have the first needle go through the second hole, then tighten the thread. Be careful not to catch the thread. Tighten the thread, and now we have successfully started sewing. Sew up this row of holes with the double needle sewing method. After each stitch, tighten the thread while maintaining a consistent stitching direction. Be careful not to catch the thread. Don't skip any holes. Make sure to pull the thread vertically to avoid damaging the leather material. Make sure to pay attention to these details during each sewing step. No more hints will be provided later. After sewing, secure the thread. Begin by sewing one additional stitch backward to reinforce. Then, pull the thread to the back. Then, thread both needles through the next pinhole, ensuring they pass through the gap between the two materials. Leave a 3 mm thread tail, cut it, and use a lighter to burn the end to secure the thread. Slow down to avoid blackening the thread end or burning the leather. Take a look at the result after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other row. Measure the thread to be 6 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Now let's learn the single needle sewing method. First, thread the needles normally. Start sewing from any hole of the large hole part, inserting the needle from the bottom to the top. Pull the thread, leaving a small length of thread to hold with your hand. Then, using one needle, sew forward, continuing to the next hole with each stitch. Now reach the starting hole. When you reach the starting hole, begin sewing again from that hole. Be careful not to catch the thread. This way, all stitches are connected, achieving the effect of double needle sewing method. This method is suitable for positions with fewer stitches and holes, as using one needle can be more convenient than double needle sewing method. After connecting the stitches, sew an additional stitch forward to reinforce it, then use the same method to secure the thread on the backside. Use the same method to sew the other large hole. Then place the main body material with the front side facing up. Take the handle material and also have the front side facing up. Align it according to the holes. Measure the thread to be 5 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Start from this hole and insert the needle from bottom to top. Then use the double needle method to sew the handle material individually to the right, sewing to the corresponding hole at the other end. When sewing the corresponding hole, insert the needle from bottom to top. For the top side, insert the needle from top to bottom, making sure to sew through the corresponding hole of the main material as well. Continue sewing forward through both materials. Next, sew downward through the 2 holes. And then sew upward through the next 2 holes to reinforce. When sewing the topmost hole, insert the needle from bottom to top as usual. When inserting from top to bottom, pass the needle through the stitches of both materials. Continue sewing the handle material individually. Use the same method as before when reaching the corresponding holes on the main body material, and finally, secure the thread on the back. Use a lighter to burn the end to secure the thread. Slow down to avoid blackening the thread end or burning the leather. That completes the process of securing the thread. Next, take the drawstring material, measure out 9 times the length of the thread, and thread the needles. Start from the first hole, inserting the needle from bottom to top, and then sew the drawstring material to the left. When sewing the third to last hole, include the corresponding hole of the main body material, making sure both materials are facing up. Continue sewing forward to complete the lower third hole. After finishing the lower third hole, reinforce with a stitch using the front needle. When reinforcing, make sure to pass the needle through the stitches of both materials. Continue with this needle to finish sewing the entire large hole, connecting the stitches and returning to the first hole of the single needle sewing. Now I have returned to the first hole of the single needle sewing. Use the bottom needle to pass through the gap between the two materials. Continue to sew the remaining holes on the drawstring material and then secure the thread on the backside. Use the same method to sew the other one. Check the result of the sewing. Next, take the lock hardware, unscrew the screw first. Attach the lock hardware to the front of the bag as shown. Place the spacer on the backside, then tighten the screw. Check the result after installation. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Start from the first hole. First sew this row of holes. Sorry, I forgot to record this part. Take the side materials, place the two materials with their inner sides facing each other, and align them according to the first hole. Then, use the bottom needle to pass through the first hole of the side material. Take the bottom needle and wrap the thread once like this. Then, use the bottom needle to sew through the holes of the side material. After finishing this row of holes, use the double needle method to sew downward. Once you've finished this row of holes, sew through the bottom holes normally, aligning the holes to avoid sewing errors. It would be better to secure it with a clip before sewing. Ensure to align the holes before fixing. After finishing the holes on the side material, continue sewing through the holes of the main body material. Stop around this position, leaving extra thread to finish with the other side later. Leave some extra thread and cut it. We will secure the thread together when finishing the other side. Measure the thread to be 6 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Note that the side material should be placed with its back facing the main body material, with the front of the side material facing yourself. Start from the first hole on the left side of the side material and sew towards the right, following the row of holes on the side material. Then, use the same method to wrap the thread once. Proceed with normal forward sewing. When you reach a few holes before the side material holes, stop and leave the thread a bit longer before cutting it. Rethread the previously left thread and sew towards the left to connect all the holes. Then sew a few stitches forward to reinforce, making sure not to catch the thread. Finally, secure all the threads into the gaps between the two materials for a cleaner appearance. Then take these two pieces of hardware, ensuring both front sides of the hardware and the leather are facing up. Assemble them as shown and tighten the screws. Install the other piece of hardware in the same way. Next, thread the drawstring through the large holes in order. Install the other drawstring using the same method. The leather mini Kelly bag charm is finished. Next, tidy up the shape of the bag. Thank you for choosing Babylon Leather, wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this Babylon Leather DIY kit, check out the link and details in the description. Thanks for watching.